Hello. Welcome to the live stream. Um, 1 second. I'm trying to get everything in order. The preview open projector. Okay, there it is. Hello. Welcome to my live stream. I'm Sasha Zibigaidan, and I'm a self-described self-expression technologist, focusing on how AI, fashion, and technology help us imagine and express who we are. Today, we're going to be exploring Midjourney 101 and diving into a crash course on literally my favorite creative AI tool, which is Midjourney. I've been using Midjourney since beta days on Discord in July of 2022. And I absolutely love Discord. It has always been literally my favorite tool to make stuff with. I see Midjourney in in the creative AI tool space as a sort of art like generator. Out of every single model that there is, I think Midjourney is the king of creating art and that focus. I've tried to imagine some like brand campaigns and products and stuff with Midjourney, but I don't really feel like that's what the software is just the best at, to be honest. But that's okay. I think Midjourney is more so just an artistic expression tool. And so, yeah, today we're going to be diving into all of it. So let's get started. Hell yeah. Okay. So we are literally going to be completely starting from scratch. This is an account. Wait. I'm going to change the screen ratio just so it looks a little cooler on stream. And let me move this down. 1 second. Okay. Nice. So this account, I'm not going to open the settings. I don't want to mess anything up. This account is from scratch-ish, but I think I still have everything that I've made from all the way back. I wonder if it will show the, wait, why can't, okay. Well, I can't pull this down, if you guys can see. I'm trying to, I don't know why my computer is being all weird. This is the account I actually started Midjourney with, just like back in 2022. But I haven't used it in a hot minute because I was working as a creative AI technologist at this local creative agency here in San Diego, and I was using the company account while I was working there. And so a lot of the gens I was making on there all still exist on there and not on this personal account. But I've recently switched back to using my personal account. So there's going to be a lot of things I need to do from scratch, like training a style model as well as personalizing my Midjourney. Midjourney has like rapidly changed in the years that it's been out, and it's just been exciting to witness. One of the most notable recent feature additions Midjourney has done has been video, and Midjourney video is just so cool. Like, look at like the entire. Ooh, I'm gonna save that. Like the entire discover feed of Midjourney now is just videos. Now it seems like, everyone's having a field day with Midjourney's video, and yeah, I've made a few things, but I want to come back to creating with Midjourney. I've been exploring a bunch of other AI tools on stream, like Flora and Higgsfield, but Midjourney will always remain my favorite tool in the market. Before we get started, I need to do one thing. I need to open up my YouTube chat list just so I can make sure I see it. I am primarily trying to stream on YouTube over Twitch, but I'm still live on Twitch just to have it there. But I want YouTube to be my go-to. Let me pop this out. 1 second. We'll move it over here. 1 second. Okay. There we go. Cool. YouTube is going to be my primary place to stream because I'm trying to grow on YouTube and display my skills of creative AI officially and have a space where it exists professionally outside of just my Instagram page and, you know, grow my career online and socials and teach people AI. So I hope you all enjoy today's stream. Okay. Well, let's start off with the basics of how do you make with Midjourney. Midjourney is pretty similar to a lot of other AI tools. You have a prompt bar right here up on the top. Then you have a couple of these other settings which is personalization right here, which we're gonna do in a little bit, because I need to do it for this account. So that's what I want to do today. And then on top of that, you have draft mode, which is really cool. It's this newest feature that Midjourney has activated, where it just generates things really quickly. There's also, I think this is part of the speech one. I'm wondering, how do I turn on the speech mode? I'm just gonna type in something. Okay, well, let's start off with just making something simple. Let's do blue sphere, pristine 3D render, white background. Let's do that. But draft mode, you're able to do the voice mode. I don't know if I have it on this account quite yet, but it will generate images a lot faster. I don't know if and then it uses draft quality images. So the images that you're going to generate are going to be a little less high quality as if you just did it originally. But that's okay. I think draft mode's great for conserving credits, but also just making things really quickly. Some of the other things, so right here is the settings toggle. So this is the prompt bar right here that you can, type in a prompt and create cool things with. But then right here is the settings tab, where you get this whole menu right here, where you can change a bunch of things. You can change the image size right here from portrait to square to landscape, but you can also move this toggle around to change the dimensions of your image gen. So, I like to generate a lot of my stuff as either 3x4 or 9x16. 9x16 is if I want to make like a YouTube short or Instagram reel or something. But then I use I do a lot of 3x4 for Instagram images now, because that's the new ratio of images. It used to be square back a couple months ago, but now it seems to be a 3x4. At first, I don't know if I was too big of a fan of Instagram's change to 3x4, but now I'm kind of enjoying it because it's just, I don't know, just bigger pictures, more stuff you can see. And with AI models, especially with Midjourney, the image size influences a lot of how the gen turns out and comes out. So I find that the bigger the image, the more that can happen in it. I've had a few times where a square image turns out to be really, really cool, but it's not that often, to be honest. And then of course you can go 16 by 9 and all those other ratios. But we're gonna stick to a 3 by 4 today because I want to make stuff for my simulated Sasha account and maybe even some screenwear pieces. We will see. But then we have down here the model settings right here, where you can change the mode to standard or raw. Before I read the description of this question mark, because it's more official, from what I understand, standard is that typical Midjourney look, that hyper stylized art feel, that sort of direction that Midjourney always likes to kind of output as, versus raw tends to be a little bit more tailored back and a little bit more raw, I guess. So yeah, they serve different functions. I turn on raw if I want to make a more realistic looking image. But yeah. Hey Jamil, what's up? I am live. We're exploring Midjourney 101 today and, diving through and first video on Midjourney. So I got to do it justice and go through the basics of this program. It's also practice for me trying to record a full tutorial on the software. But I just want to do it live just to be raw and real. We're covering the settings tab inside of Midjourney, the basics. Click the settings tab, you get this menu pop up. So the model options, you have the mode right here. So here's the real description outside of the explanation that I just did. If it stays on the screen, why won't it stay on the screen? Well, yeah, so standard raw. Standard is the original, Midjourney look. Raw is, of course, that more realistic looking version. Down here, you can change the version of the model that you're using. So I always like to use 7, but you can go back in time and generate different types of images based on the different models. I started off using Midjourney at Midjourney 3 back in the day when it was on Discord, and they're not the best looking images. Now with Midjourney 7, it's just fucking wild what you can create. Clearly, these are the examples on the explore page. I just hearted this one because this is so cool. And with Midjourney 7, that's the one this is the one that you can make videos with, of course. You can change it to standard or draft mode. Draft mode will be a lesser quality, but it'll turn out faster, generate faster, versus standard is a typical look. Jamil said, I'm curious to see your process. Yeah, I'm excited to showcase it. We're going to be kind of just going from scratch today because I have to retrain. We're going to get to the personalization tab here. I have to remake a mood board of my personal style, because that's a lot of the ways I can make a lot of the images. But I was using my company account for a lot of the stuff I was making with Midjourney, and I don't have my company account anymore, so I'm back on my personal account, which I haven't yet set a lot of this up. But I wanted to save it for a stream and just, showcase how to do it yourself too. Finishing up with the settings tab over here, we have the stylization, which kind of influences the higher you turn it up, the more kind of Midjourney like aesthetics you get, versus if you turn it down, the higher you turn it up, the more artistic it gets, versus the less you turn it down, the more it stays true to the prompt. So you switch this up, you turn this up or down, kind of depending on how things are turning out, generating wise. I mess with it sometimes when I feel like I'm getting somewhere with something, but it isn't that good. I was messing around with using raw and then changing the styles for some concepts a couple days ago, 5 days ago, And so I don't know. It's kind of hit or miss with like how much you mess with this tab right here. Can you use Midjourney to make 3D models for like gaming avatars, etc.? Not really. You can make concepts. I see a lot how I interpret creative AI as a creative AI professional is that I see creative as being a creative AI technologist is more so a creative director in a way. You make concepts and kind of plans and ideas and visualize ideas very quickly, which then you work with other designers that know how to implement those ideas um, well. And a good creative AI technologist is just an excellent creative director and has a sense of style and taste and direction and mood and feeling and knows how to communicate a story and a message. Um, so I would use, if I were to use Midjourney for 3D models and stuff, I would use it to concept out like 3D models and avatars and have a bunch of variations of it, and then work with a 3D modeler to make it happen. There are some 3D AI tools that you can bring some of it to life, but it's okay. They're okay. They've gotten better for sure, but um, 3D AI is just a lot more complicated. There's a lot of work. You also need to understand how to use Blender, and I just personally don't use a lot of 3D and stuff because I don't know. I was like I learned how to 3D model with Blender and Cinema 4D, and I used to make before Midjourney came out was trying to get a career in 3D design, but then I just realized how tedious, hard, and like just not worth it was for me. And so I was like, no, I just like making the ideas, not necessarily sitting here for hours 3D modeling. Like that makes me want to like bang my head against the wall. It's so hard and so much work because at the end of the day, I was just trying to make cool cyber style visuals and images that had that 3D look. And I'm like, well, I can use AI to make it because I'm not trying to actually make any of this in real life. This is just creative world, creative direction. Um, the other settings inside of the settings tab is weirdness, which weirdness introduces quirks and like oddities inside of your generation. Um, and yeah, so you get unexpected, strange things inside of your gens. So I don't know. I mess with these settings just randomly. It's never really set in stone, with when you change things. So and then the last setting down here is variety. So variety changes how varied each image gen goes. So see how I think I actually turn up the variety on this one. So see how each image is like completely different than the last, but it still follows that overall same creative theme of like the guy with the car in the background, right? But they're all four of them are very different and distinct. Versus I think like down here, didn't turn up variety at all too hard, so they're all very very similar in like their style and their kind of look and feel and their vibe and stuff. So you change that. I changed that setting very randomly. I think I ended up did changing it in this one. I'm not really sure where. I think it was for. I think I just started changing variety when I started generating these images, because I wasn't really enjoying how similar a lot of them looked. But yeah, that's kind of the basics of how to do stuff. Then on top of that, there's a couple more things to note. You can also, okay, that was the settings tab. That's going to be a core functionality of making stuff with Midjourney. But on top of that, the thing I personally am always using is this picture icon right here. You click it, then you can add in image prompts, which are you can kind of use like, don't want that to be a start frame. Okay, there it is. So you can use an image prompt as a reference, and it will generate a image in that similar in that vibe, basically. Like, it will take it very literally. So I can show you. Let me say cyber blue Y2K it girl taking a selfie, right? I'm gonna put that in the prompt, but on top of that, I have this image ref as an attachment. And let's click generate and just see what happens. I also, let me use this again down here. You can, so when you generate something, you have all these other tabs right here. So you can rerun the gen. So you can, try again. It's really a lottery of like what you're gonna get out of this. But then the other tab or the other little setting you have is right here called use. So you can click use down here and it will just throw back in the same settings and prompt that you had, even like the same image gen. It'll throw it all back in there. Then you have the hide button. So if, like, I don't know, you don't want someone to see it, you can click hide. I'm gonna hide these because they were ugly. And I was trying to explore the same prompts I was using to imagine a mischief collab with me inside of Midjourney, and this is the results. And honestly, I don't feel like it turned out as good as it did with other models. So I was like, oh, that sucks. So let me hide these. And then the other thing, the other tab, the last tab is more. So you can, copy the prompt with the job ID, the seed number. I'm not really sure what the job ID means in this aspect. I haven't really used job ID too much. Seed is, I'm trying to think how to explain it. You can copy the seed of something. A seed is a sort of stylistic value in an image model. If there's like a certain vibe of something, you really seed is like a kind of an advanced thing. I think if you're a beginner in Midjourney, I don't think you really need to worry about seed too much. It's very hyper specific. You only do it for very certain things. You can also report things. If you want to report something. But of course, you can download an image and open. I guess you can open up your prompt inside of Discord if you want. If you like making in Discord, Midjourney stuff in Discord. Ever since Midjourney came out with their web editor, I've switched to just using Midjourney in web because it's more powerful. I like the interface more. It feels a lot more professional. So I just stick with Midjourney inside of web. But yeah, so this is the result of that image, using the image prompt as a reference, and then on top of the same prompt. So I said cyber blue Y2K it girl taking a selfie, and I use this photo. Let me see if I can. So this is what the photo looks like. So, so now the model has this as a reference when it's like generating something. It's like, think of it as like a kind of like a human. When you approach a designer, right, you give them a brand style guide or something, or a sketch, right? And then on top of that, you tell them what you want, right? Similar thing with like Midjourney or any creative AI tool, right? You can give an image reference or a sketch, whatever you want, a similar thing, and then you can throw in a prompt and generate and see what happens. And these are actually pretty cool. I actually like this. It's kind of a vibe. Yeah, I feel like this is really cool. I love how this turned out, and I love how the text actually say it. I feel like Midjourney tends to have a problem with text generating, but these ones didn't turn out too bad actually. Okay, so let's show some other settings before we dive into the whole personalization tab down here, because that's the big thing I need to do before I start making stuff. Okay, so the other settings are So here's the image. You get all four. You generate something, you get 4 images each. Um, click on one you like, right? When you click on one you like, you can go over to this side over here where you can, you have all these other settings of copy, report, download, hide image, the same ones. You can, of course, download it or search. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I guess you can search similar vibes to the image that you just made. I had no idea about that. That's cool. Then you can also favorite the image. I like to favorite things that I really like. I generated and I really like, and I'm like done with it, just so I can go. I have a clear place of where to go back to, because when you start making stuff with Midjourney, you can make a lot of stuff, and it can become kind of overwhelming. So you should heart it to save your place. I guess that's kind of the best way I do it. Some of the other settings is you can of course help improve Midjourney if you want. I haven't really used this too much, but I can say this. I'll say that. So you can help improve Midjourney if you want. You can also put these into folders if you want to. I don't use folders too much as I should, to be honest. But occasionally I will. Oh shit. Let's go back. Then right here you have creation actions where you can choose to vary an image, meaning okay, I kind of like this image, but maybe there's some weird quirk in it, or it's just not matching a vibe that you want to communicate. So you can either vary it subtly or strong. Subtly will just change a little bit of the image. We'll compare and contrast a little bit of it. You can vary an image subtly or strongly, and strongly will very much follow the vibe, but completely remix it. As they both do very different things. Sometimes even if I really like an image, I will still click vary, both subtle and strong, just to, I don't know, explore and see if maybe can be even something even better and cooler. The other options are upscale, pretty self-explanatory. You have subtle, so it will subtly, very subtly upscale your image. You always want to upscale an AI image, period, because it can be a little grainy, a little artifacty. This one's not too bad, but still, you always want to upscale an image. So you can do it subtly, meaning that you don't really want too much to change. You don't want too much to change in the image. You just want to just make it so it's higher res, right? And then you can upscale it creatively so that it will introduce a little bit of changes. It won't change it drastically but it will introduce new quirks and things into your image. Then the other, did not mean to do that. Oh, hold on. Okay. Then the other options is you can click to rerun right here. Pretty self-explanatory. You can also then edit an image. So you can click, when you click on edit, this is very new to Midjourney. I think they only recently started this, because this was not in Midjourney a while ago. But you can, you have all these settings. I think you can change the image size and start introducing new things. We can make this image a little bit bigger. We can change the different sizes, right? I can submit and edit. So let's make this image 16 by 9 and go back. So you can change the size right there. Try to generate a little bit bigger. Keep the same size. 2 by 3. And then you can in-paint on stuff. So you can I don't know, maybe we don't want this necklace, right? Can erase that, and then we can type in silver chains. Oh wait, let me make sure you can see. You can't really see. Silver chains. Click edit, click submit, hit enter, and then submit the edit, right? So then now it's gonna create a new image where we erase this part and ask for it to put silver chains. You can then restore stuff, so you can, like, if you didn't mean to do that, you know, you can bring it back. Or and then you can also go back and change things. You can reset everything that you've done. There's also smart select, so you can, like, I don't really, okay, cool. Yeah, so smart select, it's similar to like Photoshop, where it like auto defines things. So if, like, I don't know, there's something really particular, if you use Photoshop, it's very similar. You can also, let's reset everything. Let's do smart select. And then we can choose to erase the background. It did not seem to do the background in that case, but kind of, you see the point. Let's go back. Some of the other options is you can also now animate said images. Like, you can either do you can animate an image, like you can turn an image to a video now, because Midjourney just added video. So you can either animate it manually, meaning like you type in a prompt similar to how other creative AI video models are. So, you know, we can go here, animate manually, right? And then we have a prompt, and we could say cyber, like we can literally just keep this prompt, right? And then just hit edit, or we can introduce new things like, I don't know, vibing, whatever. You know, you can add whatever you want to the prompt. So you can animate it manually, but Midjourney is also GOAT for this, because they've added, it's the first of its kind, I feel, that I've seen, of being able to auto animate images. So you can select from low motion to, you can select low motion to high motion. And low motion means, what it implies is that the image won't move too much. There won't be too drastic movements. Like, she's not going to be like flailing her arms, right? She might like subtly probably be posing or something. It would just be a very slight movement. Versus high motion, because it's auto, you don't really, you're not telling the model what to do. It's going to just imply what it can do from the image. So it might introduce some new motions and stuff. I really like the auto stuff because, you know, it's pretty simple. You just click the buttons, but you just never know what you're going to get out of it. And I don't know, I find that to be exciting sometimes, because it's like, you know, I could describe how to animate this image, right? But it's not going to, it might be kind of boring, kind of basic, or just not that exciting. But sometimes when I click auto motion, I can get some generations that just surprise me and make me be like, whoa, that's cool. I didn't even think of that, you know. And then now I guess they added loop, which loop makes it so the video kind of loops seamlessly. So it has this kind of seamless vibe. I think that literally just came out last week, so it's pretty cool. We'll have to try that out later today. But let's take a look at, so when I clicked very subtle, this was the original image. And then here's what happened when I clicked very and I clicked subtle. So see how she follows that same kind of look of the original one, but now it's just a little bit different. And some of these actually are a little bit better. Like, I kind of like this one a little bit more than this one. I lied, actually. I think this one's still really the best one out of all of them. And then this was the result of the variation, but we clicked strong variation. and see how just different it is now. And honestly, it lost that same vibe that it was originally there. And then this is what upscale subtle. Wasn't too many changes to just higher res. It just looks cleaner. Then here's the creative upscale. And see how it fixed her eye. Like her eye in this one, when I click creative upscale, her eye just looks a lot better now. A lot of the stuff looks cleaner. Versus subtle, nothing really changed, but her eye is a little wonky. I don't know if you can see it too much on stream, but the eye is just a lot cleaner in this one. So I use creative upscale a lot if I have like an image that I'm like, okay, it's just like right there on the precipice of being something really good, but not quite. And so maybe the creative upscale can fix the problem. So that's how I like use the different upscalers. And then the loop feature sounds super cool, especially for short form content. I totally agree. I think I'm gonna focus on making some loop videos today, because I think it'd be really cool in like a carousel post, because you scroll and then it's like an image to a video, and like the video is like looping. I think they just look really sleek. So then this was the result of expanding the image when we're in the editor tab. So see how some of them turned out. Some of them turned out, like this one actually turned out something, not the best, but more cohesiveness. Like when we expanded it versus these other expanded stuff didn't really work out too good. I don't really use the edit feature too much in Midjourney, to be honest, unless it's something very specific. For the most part, if I want to expand an image or like change the dimensions of an image or something, I just take it to Photoshop and do it in Photoshop, because Photoshop's a little bit better at that. But yeah. And then this was with when I went into the editor and asked it to change the silver chains. Didn't turn out that well, to be honest. Again, that's where more so I try to use, like, I think Photoshop's a little bit better for image editing than other AI tools, because you can clean up things a lot nicely, and I feel like generative fill on Photoshop is just kind of light years better than Midjourney. I think the only other image editor I like to use is Flux, but these are very niche, hyper-specific use cases that it will take a while to explain and don't really pertain to what we're doing today. But yeah, this was a little walkthrough of some of the basics. So now let's get into the funner stuff, I guess. I mean, I hope it's fun for you all. We're gonna go into the personalization tab. Let's explore some of the tabs in here. Let me cover that too. So you have the Explore tab over here, which is like the main tab of Midjourney, where you can, scroll through. Let me delete this so it's all clean. Let me delete that. You have the Explore tab over here, where you can find inspiration and find trending posts or trending creations from other Midjourney users on here. Over here you have the For You page. I've never actually checked out the For You page. I'm guessing it's similar to TikTok. I'm guessing if you like stuff, it will, the For You algorithm will go for you, but I don't really feel like anything here is for me, because if it was for me, it would be blue and white and cyber and different. I don't really know what these are, to be honest. Then you also have the random tab right here. I don't know what that really means, to be honest. I'm guessing it's just like random stuff that just kind of people have made. It's my guess. Then you have hot, which is, you have the hot tab right here, which is probably, maybe, I'm guessing, the most liked stuff of the month, potentially. There's some pretty cool things in here, actually. Oh, I like this one. That's cool. Um, I really like this one. Look how clean this is. This looks like a oil painting or something. Yeah, that's dope. Um, then yeah, so that's the hot tab. This one's pretty cool too. I like that. Um, I see this like bubblegum aesthetic a lot in a lot of AI accounts that are like really big online. It's not my personal cup of tea. I don't feel like my style is very bubblegum pop kind of Barbie look. Um, but I do appreciate the, creative direction. This one's really cool. I'm wondering if they used loop in this at all. I like that, like, it feels like two auras dancing or something. It's interesting. I'm gonna heart it. I'm gonna try to train this algorithm to show stuff. That's my vibe. Then you have the top day, but you can also change it to top week, top month. I'll favorite this one. I can't believe they got Prada text to work. Again, I feel like Midjourney is very wonky with if text will work or not. It's not like ChatGPT or Google's image gen, where I feel like, and also Flux Context, where their image models are actually really good at text. Midjourney is a little bit more wishy-washy, but it's not bad, clearly, because like we're seeing some examples of it, like, look. But I think it's more so with popular items, things that are like big and popular. I think it's, and there's a lot of probably data on it out in the internet for that they trained. My overlays, the Twitch framing, or the background, or my like cyber background. Thank you. I've spent overlay the one the border on my screen around the views on here on YouTube. I did not use AI. I used a template, which is sort of like AI, I guess. But I use this streaming software called Streamlabs, and they have a bunch of templates, and you can like just duplicate. If you have to pay for their plan, unfortunately. But if you pay for their plan, I think they have free ones too. But the paid ones, there's just cooler templates inside of Streamlabs for you to use. And I found this one. It did not look like this at all. It was sort of like this, but then I changed. I like redesigned it a bit because I wanted it to be my own thing. I usually start off a lot with templates of other people's stuff and kind of remix it. It's kind of how a lot of the AI work I do also happens. Find cool stuff on Pinterest, and I'm like, oh, that's a vibe. How do I make this mine? But inspired by them. So that's how I kind of did it. I wanted it to be very soft and spherical because I feel like my personality is very soft and spherical, but like futuristic, clean, and minimalistic. So I was trying to really translate that to like screen form. And then I really like that the animation that's going on in the background of the stream, both of them. The other one is a little bit more kind of like, it feels like it's breathing almost. I wanted some sort of movement happening outside. Like I wanted a lot of movement happening on the screen because, we live in TikTok brain rot era, and, you need things that catch people's eyes, and movement adds a lot of, dynamicness and, I don't know, personality. So that was the kind of design decision of that. And it's kind of breathing, and a lot of my stuff kind of feels very techno spiritualist. And so I was kind of tapping into that. I was like, okay, let's breathe. It's like kind of like meditation inspired. Also inspired by my logo, which is like a yin and yang symbol. The idea behind that one. I actually the logo that's down there next to Sasha. I actually generated that years ago using actually Dolly 2. When Dolly 2 first came out on the scene, I was in my design class, and like Dolly 2 just came out, and you know, everyone was using Illustrator to make their logos and stuff. And I was like, well, fuck it. Let me push AI. Let me try to make a cool logo with AI. And this was before people were making cool logos with AI. I mean, some people were, but nothing, I feel like, really cool. And the idea was, I was like, okay, the prompt was like a yin and yang symbol where in the middle, it forms a blue S in a gradient form. Because my idea was that like I'm the balance of technology and humanity, and in the middle is the S that forms for Sasha. So also simulation, also cyberpunk with an S, also cyberspace with an S. It's all part of my weird universe of S names, S branded names. Um, but and then the background, the matrix background that's happening here, it's just my desktop wallpaper. I use wallpaper engine on Steam. They have a lot of options, but I've just stuck with this one for years because I feel like communicates my vibe and I really like it. But wallpaper engine I think is like $3 or something, or $5. So yeah, I recommend you just buy it once, so then you have moving wallpapers. You have a lot of options and stuff, and I think you can make your own. But there's a lot of options, and they have really, really, really cool ones. So definitely recommend. Think it also works on Mac, but I don't use it on my MacBook actually. But I think it's might be a Windows only thing. So yeah. You were messing around with Streamlabs yesterday. What did you think about it? I'm still using Streamlabs, but I'm using Streamlabs as an extension inside of OBS now, because one of the things, so see how see how my mouse is like zooming in now, and it adds that sort of dynamicism to the stream/capture. I couldn't do that in Streamlabs because Streamlabs you can't add extensions, I guess, because it's not an open source software. And I really needed this because you know, there's a lot of like fine details like the prompt and like other things, and it's like hard to have the audience like that are viewing see it. So I was like, okay, I need this. So I converted everything to OBS, but OBS has a Streamlabs extension, and Streamlabs just makes the OBS process a lot easier because OBS is kind of a basic, boring software. But it's open source, so you can add extensions and add a lot of on top of it. But the Streamlabs extension makes OBS just a lot easier to use because I imported my overlays. I'm able to do multi-streaming and all the other little things. But yeah, tips and tricks for sure. Okay, let's get back to Midjourney. Me yapping. Likes. Then so you have. So this is so when you heart something, I hate how their UI UX needs to get a little better because, I mean, I guess you're liking it, but it should be like, I feel like a like is a thumbs up, not necessarily a heart per se. But this is where you can see everything that you've liked in the past. This one is cool. I always like things like a lot of the times with Midjourney, if I don't know what to do, I just go on and that's another thing is you have the search tab right here. So a lot of the times if I need inspiration or if I'm lost on something, or like I'm like, okay, I want to make something today, but like I don't know what I want to make. So I just go on here and go like, I'm gonna like say blue. Oh wait, it's going inside of likes, top month. So this is cool, and this is cool. Wow. I don't know. Okay, so it seems like the search tab is associated with whatever tab you have clicked here. So let's look up. Let's just keep it on top month, and let's look up blue fashion. And then it's let's add in futuristic. Okay. So you can just search things up, and you can find inspiration, look through. I like this. That's cool. It's an interesting design. So I just kind of look through here some of the times and try to note things that I find interesting. 'Cause it's cool because then you can like copy their prompt and like remix it. You can like use their prompt and their image, and then like throw in a image prompt or a style ref or an omni ref. We will cover those in just a second because I realized I did not talk about that yet. So there's just a lot of ways you can just creatively explore and use other people's generations to inform your own stuff. But yeah, so I like doing it on Midjourney here specifically because you get the prompt as well, but a lot of the other times I sometimes just go on Pinterest to like look up inspiration. Like, let's go home feed. Like, I go on Pinterest for inspiration because it's similar to like when you do inspo search on Pinterest. Oh, this is cool. I'm gonna say that. But Pinterest, like, these are like, for the most part, most of these images you see on Pinterest are real, right? So you don't see the prompt that like made it, versus like on Midjourney here you have the prompt as well of how did that come into existence in the first place. But sometimes I go on Pinterest for inspiration, and then I throw it into here as like an image ref. But this is a good segue into style references. So image ref prompts right here, it will be very literal in how it makes the image. Like, it will come like the ones we created over here. It like literally took this image. Like, they are very similar. Like, this is the image that we use as a reference, right? And then see what generated out of that, right? It's very literal in how it's generated. Versus when you use style reference, it's not as literal. Style reference is just like, oh, I want. Let me click it. I don't want this exact image. I don't want to recreate this image, essentially. I just want the image to be inspired by this style, this creative direction, right? Let's try the same prompt, but instead of using it as an image ref, we're going to use it as a style reference. And then same prompt, everything. Let's click generate. And you'll see like it's very minute differences. Just through time and iteration and using these tools consistently, you'll just kind of personally learn how and when to use stuff, and like that. This is honestly why I haven't made too many tutorial videos and stuff like that yet, because I don't know, a lot of creative AI stuff just comes from exploring it yourself and just figuring out your own way. 'Cause it's hard to like talk about tips and tricks when like, a lot of people haven't even like touched an image generator yet. So you're like, hey, you use a style ref instead of an image ref, and then throw in a weird, turn up the weird value and the stylization value, and they will look at you like you are insane. So it's hard to make tutorials on this. But that's where, live streaming this now is me trying to gain experience in how to talk about this and make it approachable. Because it's really not that bad. It's really fun. I really like doing this, clearly. And I think I just want to see how other people take this medium and what they do with it. Okay, so this is the result of the style ref. So it's very, like, now you can see the difference between the style ref and the image prompt. So with using that image as the image prompt, it was very one-to-one did the thing. right? Versus when we used it as a style reference, it made these images in that same kind of game, PlayStation 2 vibe. But it's not that exact image. It's not her posing like this with the DR, right? It's just it's the model is just pulling from that style, that creative direction, that Y2K PlayStation 2 ness of this image. So you use them differently. That sounds like inspo for a prompt. People look at me like I have three heads. That's actually a cool one. I did something with like infinite hands a little bit ago, because I was inspired by like Doctor Strange and just seeing, that one visual where he goes like this and it like all the hands pop out, and I was like, I need to do that, but I want it to be me doing it instead. Then the last setting is a brand new one that like only recently happened. It's called omni-reference, which is basically a character reference thing. So it's like so it says use a person's likeness or an object's form. So this is where you can like import a specific object or person. This is how I make like self-portraits with Midjourney. I don't find that Midjourney, for me at least, translates me very one-to-one directly. I feel like it messes my characteristics up a lot. But I still use it because it's like it generates characters that kind of look like me, so it's like alternate reality versions of me. But it's still a really cool feature that's like brand new to Midjourney and is really useful. So you can add in the character ref right here. So you're gonna be able to like see. So we're gonna try it out with the same prompt of the same prompt we use for these other images. And then right here you have the setting toggle called Omni Strength. So this is the higher you turn it up, the sweet spot from what I've read is 100 to 300. 100 is a very loose character reference. Like it will, I'm trying to think the best way to describe it. It will like take the vibe of this character. Like it will be inspired by this character and it'll probably mostly look like her. And it won't be the same pose and everything. It will just, it will pose differently and stuff like that. Versus, and like the same, and if the lower the value, the more interpretability the reference is, versus the higher the omni strength is, the more literal it will be. Like if we turn it up to 300, the generation is probably going to have a girl doing a peace sign like this, no matter what. Versus if we have it at 100, it's probably it's going to be a different interpretation. So let's try it out. Let's try it with 100. Then let's try it out with 300, and just compare and contrast how that's going. But yeah, let me turn on my robot. It might be dead though. This is my little robot, Simi. My friends got it for me for my birthday. They all chipped in. It's this cute little desktop companion I saw on like TikTok like ages ago. And I've been wanting it for a really long time. And a bunch of my friends chipped in and did it. And really happy with it. So now it's part of my aesthetic. Do you ever put the same image in multiple reference boxes? I tend to not really, because it can mess things up a lot, or like it will be junk. It might it could be information overload to the model, and then it doesn't really know what to do. So yeah. For the most part, I stick to the biggest thing I do is I use style reference a lot for the most part. because I want a certain stylistic direction. And a lot of times I like throw in a bunch of shit into there and just see what happens, because I'm just always curious, like, okay, maybe adding this picture will introduce this certain thing. It's a lot of mishmash. I use image prompt if I like really want a very specific type of image. Like, for instance, if I really wanted the same angle of this, right, but I wanted to be me, let's actually try that out. Let's use this. So instead of it boy, I'm gonna say it. Instead of it girl, I'm gonna say it boy. And then I'm going to add an omni reference of this, which is this really cool image I generated using Higgsfield AI and their model Soul. I think this is one of my favorite like Y2K looks image generations ever gened. It's just such a vibe, and I think it communicates exactly my aesthetic and creative direction and who I want to be. On top of that, is kind of like manifesting the character that I see myself as and like want to become even further. So we're gonna throw that into OmniRef, because I find that when I use AI generated images of myself as character references, they turn out better than using like a selfie of me, specifically in Midjourney. It's only Midjourney that this is the occurrence, because in Midjourney you can only use one picture as a character reference. In Higgsfield and Kriya and other AI tools, you can train Allura, which is a specific Allura is a specific model, like a specific image model. So you can train your own AI model on your likeness, and so you can use up to, I think, 70 images or even more of yourself to train that model, so it can actually nail down your appearance very, very well, versus when it's only one image, it's kind of hard for the model to, interpret you. So with Midjourney, I like to use like just AI generated stuff of me as the reference, because it just turns out a lot better. So let's try that. That was a test with using ImageRef and OmniRef at the same time. I'm just seeing what happens. I'm very curious. I'm drinking. Oh God, it's 6 o'clock and I'm still drinking a Red Bull. I'm addicted to caffeine. While this is generating, speaking of Red Bull, there's this new flavor. It has this like light blue tint. It's made with monk fruit extract, and it's 0 sugar. Honestly, the best Red Bull flavor, period. I also love blue yerba mates. Blue yerba mates and this fucking Red Bull are every day. I literally have one at least every day. I'm addicted to caffeine. Because I also have ADHD. So this is also why I love creative AI, because it's perfect for us girlies with ADHD, because then we can just make so much stuff and just explore ideas that we always constantly have. So this is the result. Pretty interesting. I like this a lot. It's very strong, very subtle. It's upscale creative, upscale subtly. Let's see where that goes. Paid partnership, girl. I'm waiting for an Alienware. I want an Alienware partnership. I want a Red Bull partnership. I want a PlayStation partnership. I want a Google partnership. Where are they? I just need to make more videos and have more things about me out, because I'm like, come on, I'm literally the perfect fucking face, because I'm like the embodiment of all of them. But I also just chronically use them all the time. I'm like, Red Bull gives me wings on the computer. I don't even know. Jesus. These are pretty cool. Not the best. So Midjourney can suffer a lot with a lot of hallucinations. I think Midjourney has a lot of that. I said earlier in the beginning of the stream, I see Midjourney more so as an art tool than necessarily a like practical thing. Because because a lot of the things I make out of Midjourney are more kind of artsy, a little bit more flowy and weird, because Midjourney has a lot of quirks. But then I do see other people and they do make crazy shit like, oh my god, this is cool. This looks like Gestalt, or the guy, what's his name? He just produced a song with Gaga. It starts with a G. Gestalt or something. He was the one that made Killa. This guy. Get Gestalfestein. This kind of looks like him if you've seen him. Very, very similar vibes. Interesting. But yeah, then sometimes I see this type of stuff and I'm like, wait, how do y'all make that? Let me save these actually. Because my problem whenever I create stuff with Midjourney is it can have a lot of hallucinations and a lot of like weird quirks. Oh yeah, so this was the test between a lower OmniRef to a higher OmniRef, and kind of the results. It's not really set in stone that these things are like exactly as is if you turn up something higher or lower. It's very hit or miss. A lot of creative AI is just ultimately a black box of getting stuff. You don't know if it's gonna be exactly as is or a little quirky or a little weird. You just kind of wait and see. You mess around with settings and throw shit at the wall and see what happens, what generates out of that. You could totally use Midjourney to concept your first tattoo. There's probably hundreds of tattoo inspirations. You can even look. Tattoo. Yeah, you can totally use it. Once I make a tutorial on how to make self-portraits with AI, that would be a good one to watch, because then you can make the self-portrait aspect helps because then you can make a version of you with the tattoo on potentially, or even you can even probably use ChatGPT and a reference image to create yourself with a tattoo on specifically. That's also an option, but that's sidetracking. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna take a quick little break because I need to turn off my air conditioner because it's getting really cold in here. 1 second. Be right back. Okay, I am back. It was just getting really cold in here, and I'm just in a t-shirt and shorts, and it's getting icy up in here. Oh, and I'm wearing this cool San Diego Chargers shirt I thrifted. Everything I wear is thrifted, by the way. Every single thing, for the most part. Some things might be like old things that I bought away in the past and just still have in my closet and just mix and match. But everything I wear is always thrifted. I live in Hillcrest, San Diego, and there's so many fucking thrift stores like here, and I swear to God, the gays just have the best shit, because I just find the craziest shit up in here, and it just blows my mind every time. And it's cheap and it's sustainable and supports local businesses, and just find more interesting stuff that are just one of a kind. I've also been looking at the women's section a lot. I think the women's section has just really interesting, cool clothes. But this was in the mail. I bought this like years and years ago. But it's one of my favorite. It's my favorite comfy shirt. I used to wear it for fits and stuff, but now it's kind of become my comfy shirt. Okay, Okay, we looked at the editor tab. We already looked at it. This is the same exact thing. It's the same thing. You can also okay, well, this is important. You can also use, so you have the, wait, let me zoom in. So you go here in the edit tab. Oh, let me go back to explain it. So we looked at the explore tab right over here. We covered that. You have the create tab over here, which is where all of your creations are going to exist in. Then you have the edit tab, which is like, it's all focused on editing stuff. The coolest feature inside of this edit tab over here is the retexture. Right here is really cool. I've honestly made some really cool things from this. So retexture, it will take an image that you upload here and change, let me read it. Retexture will change the contents of the input image while trying to preserve the original structure. So I've used this for some like concepting shoes, so we can actually try that. So I'm gonna throw in, I already have a bunch of old stuff in here. I'm gonna throw in, let's just throw in this cool Nike slipper or high heel thing, and then we can throw in a style reference right here. So let's throw in the Dior girl as a style ref, because I like that like PlayStation aesthetic. There. And then, oh, you have to make sure you put in a prompt. Y2K, or let's say blue and white heels rendered in PlayStation 2 graphics. Okay. Will it not? That's weird. Well, that didn't seem to work. Okay, well, maybe let's do this. Okay. Oh, okay, so you have to upload it directly. I couldn't just do that. Okay. Blue and white. Okay, so I'm gonna change these Adidas Sambas into PlayStation 2 graphics. I don't know. We'll see how this comes out. I didn't really prepare what I wanted to create today. I just wanted to stream Midjourney 101. I will probably do a now that once we get through all of this, the 101 session. My next stream will probably be just actually making stuff with sitting down and making stuff with Midjourney without explaining everything, because I've gotten it covered so far. Okay, blue and white sneakers rendered in PlayStation 2 graphics. Let's see what comes out of that. I've made some pretty sick things with this that I unfortunately think I've only posted on Threads like a very long time ago. It was these sneakers. If it can open image, a new tab. Hopefully you can see it. It was these sneakers. I posted this on Threads a while ago. I should post this on my actual. I reopened 2 accounts where they're singularly focused as like portfolio showcases, because I make a lot of really cool things, but then get too in my head about posting it on my like main account, because my main account is a bunch of things, and so it doesn't need to always be like generated images, right? So I feel like it's held me back. And so now I've like reopened my portfolio accounts and going to be dumping everything in there, just so they can exist and hopefully grow and stuff like that. But I've also published everything that not everything, but the best things that I've made on my Pinterest page, where I'm trying to like fill this out more just so it exists somewhere. I'm using this as like my portfolio until I update my website to have all this. It's just hard because I have to like redo my actual website portfolio entirely to be able to host images like this on there, like as a gallery. And it's gonna be so much work because all these images and videos are different sizes and stuff. And so like I just don't know how to design the web page at all. I can show my portfolio now. Um, it looks like this. It's just very simple and clean and like minimal. Um, and so I literally don't know how to redesign this to have, because this is what the project section looks like. And there's a lot more case studies I need to add that I just haven't sat down and done. Um, but yeah, I have to like redo this portfolio entirely. So I've been uploading everything to Pinterest and sharing my Pinterest and my portfolio at the same time. And then now starting up my Instagram pages dedicated to being just pure creative accounts. Um, but that's beside the point. Let's get back to Midjourney. Um, so this was the result of that. Interesting. None of these are that good. I'm gonna take out that reference image. Let's do. How about I'm gonna use style reference and I'm gonna throw in a bunch of. Let's delete this. A bunch of cool vibes that I've made in the past. Oh wait, let's zoom in so you can see it. Let's throw in that one. Let's throw in. No, I don't want that one actually. Throw in this one. Throw in that one. Throw in this one. Throw in that one. Throw in this one. It just randomly mishmash shit. And we can hit. We don't even have to even put in a prompt. We can just. At least I don't think so. I guess you do. Cyber blue and white. Adidas Sambas. Nice. Let's just see what that goes. Not gonna worry too much about this because I'm just trying to cover all the bases of all the different things inside of Midjourney, because there's honestly a lot inside of Midjourney you can do and mishmash a lot of things together. I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember how I got. I really don't remember what I used to. I had a cool reference. Like this was a Pinterest. Like this picture, the original picture without this like cyber vibe to it. I found on Pinterest a while ago. And then I think I like put in a bunch of my pictures as style references, similar to what I just did with these sambas, and it turned out that vibe, but it doesn't seem to be doing it well right now for these sambas. But we'll focus on creating cool things next Midjourney stream. I think this one we're just gonna be covering how to use Midjourney in general. Period. The next one we'll focus on making cool shit. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe that'll be my thing for tomorrow. We'll see. Okay. The other tab right here, you have personalize. This is what we're gonna be spending a bit of time on today. This is like my big task because I need to do this. Because you can personalize your Midjourney using the personalization. So there's two things you can do, where you can create a global profile, which we can kind of take a look at it. So global profile, from what I understand, is like the global version of Midjourney that you're using. So it's like you train it by selecting which image you want. So I personally I would say the second one a little bit more. So you can train them. You press 1 to pick the left one. You press 2 to pick the right one. Then you press 3 to skip. Or you can click these or you can click on them, or you can click skip. But I just use 1, 2, or 3. So you can train Midjourney on your specific image preferences. So here we can read it together. Teach Midjourney about what you find beautiful. Inside every prompt are unspoken details. Midjourney will try to fill these in a way that makes the image most compelling for the entire community, but your tastes are unique. Do you like cute animals or fearless fantasy creatures? buildings, old and rugged, or sleek and modern. Profiles help Midjourney, quote unquote, get to know you and shape images towards what you love. Create personalization profiles to teach Midjourney what you like. Add images to mood boards to give Midjourney visual inspiration. So global profile is just kind of the overall Midjourney, how it does things for you, how it generates certain things for you. Um, yeah, um, I don't, I don't think I actually turn it on from what I was doing before, on the other account. I don't think I was actually using my global profile too much, to be honest, because I felt like it was doing certain things I just didn't want it to do, and it felt like it was kind of locked into a certain style aesthetic, and I was just wasn't too happy about that. But mood boards are the really cool thing that I actually do use a lot, and we'll get to that in 1 second after I get because that we're just gonna do it together live. Um, so the other tab you have over here is organize. So organize is just where everything you've ever made exists, and then you can filter things out for things you've liked, things unrated. I don't know what that means. You can look at hidden things. You can filter by all these different options. You probably get the point. Um, yeah, you can filter by the profiles you use, or maybe even like mood boards that you use, or other thing, your save searches. I don't know how you actually save. Oh, you can add searches. Oh, nice. I haven't really used that too much, to be honest. But yeah, that's organize. Chat is lobby, like Discord lobbies. I don't really use these too much, but it's very similar to like they're basically trying to make Discord, but inside of, because with Discord Midjourney, you see everyone generating and all of their prompts and all their things. I don't really use the rooms too much because like everyone's generating stuff, so it can get kind of in the way, and like you have something and then someone else starts generating, and then you're like get you even more lost. But you can join voice chat and talk with people while you're making stuff, or you can be in the chat itself and like chatting with people. I personally don't really use this too much, but I do think for a later stream or something, maybe it might be fun to make a room. Once I get more viewers and people tuning in and stuff, I think it would be really fun for me to like make a room and have all of us generating something at the same time. That could be a really fun experiment to try, and just work with people on making cool stuff, collaborating, I guess, on things. But yeah, that's the chat feature over here on Midjourney. Then tasks are tasks you can do for Midjourney, and it looks like you can earn fast hours for doing stuff. So you can rank videos, you can curate community front page, you can do surveys and stuff, and you get fast hours. Fast hours are so when you're in the settings over here, I have speed right here. I forgot to cover that. So you can choose the speed you want stuff, like how fast you want things to generate. So you can turn on like relax, fast, or turbo. Relax will be very slow. I hate when I have to use relax mode for Midjourney because it literally will take forever to generate something. I usually have things set on fast, but when I had my company Midjourney account, I would have turbo on because we had the most expensive plan, so we had so many fast hours to burn through, and so I turn on turbo and things would just be lightning quick, and it was great. It was so fun because I could just sit and cook stuff for hours and just make so many things. But that just burns through a lot of fast hours. But you can earn fast hours from doing tasks. So if you run out of fast hours, just do some image ranking or do a survey or something, and get some fast hours your way. Then down here you have the help. So this is where you can get help with stuff, tutorials, getting started, documentation, billing support. You can report issues. You can see if things are up or down. I guess they have a chat bot now, actually, so you can chat with Midjourney's AI bot that's trained on their documentation. So there's that. There's updates, so you can see anything, any updates that Midjourney is doing. I guess Midjourney TV is experimental webpage and YouTube stream which shows you random highly ranked videos being made by our community. It's available at midjourney.tv. The site will automatically select the videos that best. Oh, that's cool. I'll probably have to check that out later. And then down here you have light mode, where you can change it to dark mode if it works. Mine doesn't seem to be working, but you can change it. I like light mode more than dark mode. Just keeps my visual aesthetic more. Then you have your account down here, so you can, do stuff. There's also Midjourney magazine, which is like Midjourney's official magazine. That's $4 a month. I'm manifesting to be featured on here one day. Fingers crossed one day. I just need to be making more stuff and being more online. And having separate AI accounts, just posting constant AI creations that I make. And one day, I already know I'm going to be featured on Midjourney Mag eventually. But yeah, that's pretty much the rundown of all the major little things of the Midjourney web editor. I hope that helped explain things as much as I could. We're going to go back to the personalized tab over here. And start doing some stuff. So we're going to be making a mood board. I'm going to be making a mood board of my specific cyber Y2K blue and white aesthetic. I use my mood board a lot for a lot of the images that I generate, because then it keeps that same style and direction without me having to every single time put it in the prompt. Like, that's what I want. So I've uploaded my entire portfolio of stuff that I've generated that I really like inside of my Google Drive, and I'm going to download it now. Okay, download. Oh, just taking a minute. That's probably gonna take a while. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's gonna be stuck in this. 1 second. Just a bunch of notifications on my phone, sorry. Okay. Okay. Well, this is probably going to take a minute to download because I have a bunch of stuff in here. I have, if it loads, I have ChatGPT images I've made. I have Doji fashion AI things that I've made. I have some of my favorite pieces from my collaboration with Glitch. Some of my favorite pieces from Higgsfield, making stuff with Higgsfield. I have some of my favorite self-portraits I've made. I have some of my Midjourney experiments also in here. It's not all of my stuff. I've kind of lost a bunch of the stuff I've made, or I don't like some of the stuff I made, so I just throw them away. Don't think about them. There's so many things you generate, with making AI, that you kind of lose track of it. Trying to get better at organizing and saving my gens and work, just so I don't forget about it. Some of these cool mischief concepts that I've made, and then VO3 stuff. Yeah, so I'm downloading all of it. Okay, there it is. I'm going to open it up now. over here, extract all, download, opening it up. Let's see where this goes. Okay. So I have my entire portfolio now. We're going to go into Midjourney here. We have the mood board. We're going to add images. So let me open this up again, move it over here so we can see both screens. I'm going to throw in small icons. No, I want to. I'm going to throw in a bunch of the stuff that I've made in the past into here because I'm going to train a mood board on my style. And if it loads, you can only put in images. You cannot put in videos. I think, let me make sure. Yeah. This is a video. I think this is a video. Yeah, there's a video. Crap, I have a bunch of videos in here, so they're not gonna go into this mood board. I'm probably gonna have to go back and go look through my photos again to make sure I get everything, but we have enough photos for now. You can always add on to mood boards, so you can expand them and stuff. Let me throw these. Throw all of these in. I think. Okay, dragging these in. Oh wait, I think this is a movie. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back in and make sure I'm only getting images. Okay, here is images. Let's go to view, medium icons. So all these are images. I'm just gonna drag all of these into here. Nice. Just gonna drag all of these into here. So now I'm gonna name this mood board over here. I'm gonna name it Sasha Style. And then, nice. So now I've made a mood board of my visual aesthetic. It will help, when you generate images with Midjourney, it will help tailor it to a specific, mood and vibe and style. So you don't have to constantly, reference things. You can make different mood boards for different things. I might honestly, once I make more brand collab pieces, because I've been lately trying to build more of a portfolio on creative AI applied to something, like a real use case outside of, because I make a lot of art stuff that are just my personal expression without trying to be like, how is this useful for brands and stuff, even though I know how it can be, but I'm trying to build now a bigger portfolio and like actual use cases. So once I get more of like brand collab images like this, I think I'll make a separate mood board for this type of style, like the white background with just a product, because I think potentially and experiment with that, because I think hopefully my guess was that it will help my Midjourney gens potentially follow this same guideline of like blank white background and a product with like this blue cyber vibe to it. But that's for a later time and experiment. But now we have our mood board. So I'm going to create a few images. So in order to active in order to activate your mood board, you have to go into the personalize right here, and shit. Wait, let me go. Okay, so I can. Well, I still need to do the global training, but that's just gonna take a really long time. Because you have to rank 200 images, and honestly, that's probably gonna take like an hour, and I think that might be better to do off stream. But if would you want to see me ranking things? It's really not that exciting. It's just gonna be me sitting here choosing which image is better. If you would like that, let me know. I'm fine with doing that on stream. But if not, I'm gonna save that for off stream, taking care of it, because I can already use the profile right here. I just clicked use profile and I have this number. So if you can copy this number and use my mood board in your own gens, so you can follow the same cyber style of stuff. Um, Pretty cool. Um, okay, I'm using this mood board that I made. This is the code that it's associated with. Let's put in a prompt now. Let's say blue and white cyber sneakers. Let's throw that in. Oh, weird is not compatible. Okay, so I guess you have to turn down weirdness in order for your profile to be used. Let's change the 3x4. Let's do that, and then let's make sure we don't have weird in this, because I cannot have that. Let's throw that in there. And then, so see how now over here it has my mood board of the Sasha style. That's going to be applying to it. So now we have, whatever. So we have a pretty basic prompt that it's not saying too much, right? It's just blue and white cyber sneakers. And without, so let's try that same prompt, but without my style applied, and we can compare and contrast the visual difference. Blue and white cyber sneakers. So it did pretty well with applying my style. I really like this one. This one's a pretty cool shoe. Not cyber enough for me per se. I would not share this, but still interesting. So see how different the vibes are, because a lot of my stuff personally has a lot of translucentness in it, a lot of electricity, clearly, a lot of neons and stuff, a lot of rubber kind of glassy stuff. When I applied my mood board to this prompt, it is creating now images in that similar aesthetic vein, I would say, versus here without my mood board applied. It's kind of just, it's cool, but it's generic, and I don't feel like it fully encapsulates my creative direction. So I use my mood board of my personal style a lot in anything I generate, because it just helps with creating cohesive vision, Let's try this again with my mood board, but this time we're going to add a style reference. Or no, we're gonna add an image prompt of the sneakers that I used. But then we're gonna go in the settings over here and make the variety a little bit more. Make sure we turn off the weird, because you can't use weird with you can't have any weird setting. It's such a weird name. You can't have the weird setting turned on if you're using a mood board. We're going to turn up the variety just a little bit, just so we can have some different sets of images. And then we're gonna click generate to see what happens. Oh wait, forgot to take it out of the prompt. And let's make sure there's no weird. Okay, should be good now. Okay, let's see what happens. We're gonna create a few. We're only gonna create a few images tonight. I'll do a video too. If I get something cool out of this sneaker gen, I'll turn it to a video. I just have to go soon. I have something to be at in a little bit, so gotta skedaddle and just a tiny bit. And then I think tomorrow morning I will do a full stream just purely creating with Midjourney and just seeing what happens. So I use the style ref of the other sneakers and my mood board attached to this, and we got some pretty cool things. I like this one, but the posing is weird. I also really like this one. So I'm gonna click vary on both of these because I do like it, but it's never for me never a one and done situation. I'm always, you might get something cool. If you might honestly get something even cooler if you just, maybe if you vary it just a little bit. It's not always the case, but it can be the case. Ooh, this one's pretty cool, but I like this one a lot. I would wear this for sure. These aren't bad. I think I'm gonna stick with, and these are cool images too. I'm gonna stick with this one. Let's click vary on this one too, but let's also upscale this one. See where it goes. Because we might get something a little better. Because the shoe itself is nice looking, but this part up here just looks a little weird. So if we vary it, we might get something better, honestly. So this is what happens when we click vary. I think I like this one the most. This one's pretty cool. Let's see what else we got. Let's see how... This is the upscale subtle. This is upscale creative. Not bad. But I think I really liked... Not this one. I can't remember. I think it was this one. Okay, so let's upscale this one. Let's see where this goes. And then I'm gonna turn this into a video just to show how videos are made inside of Midjourney. Yeah, this is how long it takes to generate with fast mode. On turbo, it's even it's crazy. On relax, this would literally take so goddamn long to do, and just hate doing stuff in that mode. I think I like the creative upscale more because it fixed some of the problems with the shoe. Okay, now let's try out the animation. Let's select low motion and high motion, as well as low motion loop and high motion loop, and just see what happens with that. Midjourney video has been so cool and like killer, but it is definitely hit or miss. Yeah, it's just hit or miss. I would only use. I just always test it out and just see how good it looks. But if I need to use a different like AI video model, I will. I like Kling a lot. Kling is like honestly my always go-to video model. Also VO3 is incredible, full stop, period. but VO3 is just insanely expensive. Just even like price wise of using it, but also just credit wise, because in other AI tools, they have credits, and the VO3 can be a very expensive model to use, because like inside of Flora specifically, it costs 3,000 credits for a VO3 gen. Okay. Hopefully you can see. So this was with a loop. I don't know why there. This was. I don't know why it keeps stopping. My mouse is just kind of weird on here. I can't tell. This was not. Okay, so wait. So the up here were loops. Down here are. So this one is low. These are the low motion ones. Not bad. So these are the auto high motion ones. Oh wait, we can't even see. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I like this third one in the middle. I'm not gonna move my mouse because it keeps stopping the video. But I like the third one right there. That one's nice. I'll save that. I'll heart that one. And then let's look at this one. Let's look at the loops. Not too bad. I like that kind of like in the kind of subtleness of it. So this was loop motion low, and then this one was loop motion high. That's strange because I feel like the loop motion high is a lot more less motion than the loop motion low. I feel like there's a lot more movement going on. Interesting. Okay. I'm trying to remember which one I liked the most. Oh, it was this one. Okay, so now we have a video that we do like, that we're happy with, and maybe want to share on social media. There's a lot of things you can do with Midjourney. You can rerun the same video thing. You can extend the video, which is cool. So you can make really long videos. I think it goes up to 24 seconds. So you can keep extending things and making them longer and longer. So that's interesting. And then over here, you have two options for downloading videos. So you can download video for social media, which is this left one, and then you can download just the raw video. You always want to download for social media, because the way they encode the video for the raw one can downgrade the quality and make it kind of weird and funky. So if you're going to be posting this stuff, you always want to make sure you're downloading for socials, because it will make sure it stays at the correct frame rate and the video coding for socials, so you don't lose too much quality. Midjourney, all of Midjourney's videos are 480p and I think 24 frames a second. I'm not certain on that. What I personally like to do a lot of the times is download the video, and then I take it into CapCut, and then in CapCut I up the frame rate and up the quality to like 1080. Sometimes it can make it a little janky looking, and it doesn't look that good. So you pick your poison on what you want to do. But yeah, I think we hit pretty much all the points for today's stream of Midjourney 101. We didn't make too many things, but we got a cool pair of sneakers now. Probably not gonna post these because they're not bad, but not my favorite. They're not groundbreaking enough. I like things that are just really like just blow people's minds. These are just cool and they look pretty, but it's fine for today. Um, yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything we needed to cover. And then tomorrow, I guess I will stream again. Actually, just we're gonna focus on just making things. Not sure what we're gonna make. It's probably be in the focus of fashion, maybe some self portraits. Um, tomorrow will just be an exploratory day of just making cool things with Midjourney. Um, yeah, let me move my camera back to just chatting. But yeah, that was a pretty great stream. I appreciate you for tuning in and coming to learn Midjourney 101 with me and exploring one of my favorite creative AI tools and the one that honestly literally started my entire creative AI career, Midjourney. It will always have a special place in my heart. Let me actually hold on. Let me find the first video I've ever made with Midjourney, because I want to make sure I show that. Let's go back. Let's go here. Um, it's so far back. It's going to take a while, but I have a video from super long ago. It was my first ever Midjourney self-portrait slash image gen, and it's what literally started this whole thing. And I saw the vision before even I knew what the vision truly was, and it's just crazy to think that this little silly software honestly spiraled and created a big part of who I am today now. This was it. This is the first ever Midjourney generation I did and posted online. Literally from September 1st, 2022, so long ago. I liked my own posts back then. I don't like my own posts anymore. And it's crazy because like these are my friends and they were like, this is crazy. And just crazy to think like this was mind blowing back in 2022. And like AI images were, so back then. Like that was the final result. That was the final image. And I was like, oh, this kind of looks like me if I was in the future. And I thought it was so cool, but just looking back at it now, you're like, ooh, it wasn't that funky. But then again, the tools weren't, the Midjourney wasn't as crazy as it is today. Like this is what I'm able to make in Midjourney now. Like this hyper realistic, super funky, super, like it looks real this is what it was like three years ago now. Midjourney's been out for 3 years. And I'm just wondering, like, Midjourney, imagine Midjourney in 2030. What the hell? What is that going to be? I miss, though, because in Midjourney back then, I don't know if you still can. I might have to explore that. But with Midjourney back in the 2022 days, you were able to do progress videos of how it generated out the image. I don't know if that's still a thing. That might be a setting toggle. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, this self-portrait with Midjourney started everything that I am now today. And crazy because like one of my favorite self-portraits is this one. Well, this honestly one of my favorite ones I've ever made, period. Just crazy to think it went from that self-portrait to something like this of just it's actually true art. It's becoming now actual art, and I feel AI is now matching the creative vision I've always had in my head, and it's exciting because I have so much creative ideas that I want to execute and showcase to the world, and showcase how creative AI can actually be art. It can be something more than slop or someone being a lazy artist. I think it's just a new art form. I think it's a new way of creativity, and I want to inspire more people to see it the way I do, and also try to steer creativity into a way where we balance humanity and human artists and new creatives like me that want to do this for good, you know. But yeah, let me go back to just chatting. Yeah, I appreciate you for tuning in my process. I'm just happy there are, people that resonate and are interested in my weird little cyberspace. And just crazy to think how far things have come, and I'm finally talking about it. I feel comfortable enough now and know myself enough now how to talk about it and be about it and live it authentically and fully. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow with a stream, just pure making stuff with Midjourney. We'll see what comes out of mine and AI's mind working together. The human behind the machine. But yeah, take care. Have a great rest of your night. I will see y'all later.